back as always, being a fine figure here for another unboxing video or video toy review, whatever you want to call it. Right now we are going to be taking a look at the Superboy, part of the Page Puncher DC Direct from Mcfarlane Toys. Now this is, quite honestly, probably the version that I've wanted, and I know a lot of people have wanted. But of course, in the standard Mcfarlane tradition, he kind of left out some important detail to the figure itself. I don't know why. And of course, you know, the jacket, glasses, you know, it's a no-brainer. If this is if he was going for the death of Superman, or I don't know, maybe this is more of the standard solo. Even if it was a standing #1 solo Superboy issue like the comic here, you know, the image itself, the source material had it all there, so it would have been great to finally get this version on a jacket. Now we did get that original version we got a couple years ago, which is like an older version of Connor or Cornell, whatever you want to call it. We finally got the jacket. We didn't get the shades, we got the stubble, we get the nice little fade there, which we'll talk about that, the fade with this one. And it wasn't too bad, but it wasn't the one we wanted to. I mean, he also had the S in the back, but it wasn't in the old yellow like the original version of this figure was in the Death of Superman. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe before the license is completely up, we might get one with a jacket. Not really holding my breath on this one. I think he probably might be done. You know, we wanted... you know, we finally got a good version of the Cyborg, which is hands down the best of all of these Death of Superman, Return of Superman figures. So at least he could have done a little bit better. I thought he was going to be on a roll and give us a great version of this. Again, it is a good looking figure in the box. We'll open it up in the clamshell here in a minute. It's just the fact that it doesn't have the jacket. It just, you know, it just makes it sort of like that John Kent figure, you know, just a little bit more basic than what it needed to be. But anyway, I'm going to get this figure out of the box. We're going to go over it and call it a day. I'll be right back. All right, now that the figure is out of the clamshell jail, we will quickly go over the accessories. And of course, being the Page Puncher, you get that nice looking comic. I'm not going to, you know, rat on the comics. The comics are pretty good. I guess it is a reissue, reprint of the #1 Superboy, I guess, when he got his own title, I'm assuming. So it's nice. It's nice details. I don't really have a lot of use for these, so they go on my pile of Page Puncher comic books. I have it somewhere here. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with them. It does come with the stand and the new and improved DC Studios, DC logo, all the old style brought back. Then, you know, it's better than that old plain burned in logo that they had before, all black. So it's nice to see that one kind of stands out a little bit. And of course we get the nice little image there of Superboy minus the sunglasses, but he's got the jacket. And then of course it's a nice image out there. Again, something that I really don't collect much. I usually just put them up for sale or give them away or whatever. So this is gonna follow the fate of the other ones. He does come with an extra set of hands, which I don't remember if that one had an extra set of hands. I'm not sure if it did or not, but it does come with another open hand or flight hand, or reaching out hand, and a thumbs up, which seems to be big among the action figures lately. I know the, who does it? I mean, Mcfarlane does it, I think. Mattel Elite, I think, does it with a few. I don't know, I don't remember, but thumbs up, I guess, you know. He's doing a good job as a superhero. Now, again, the figure, the sculpt, it's been reused a lot. And it kind of works for the figure. I wish that it was a little shorter because he does scale a little bit bigger than, you know, almost as big as the other figures. And he's supposed to be a younger, you know, a kid. I mean, it was basically a kid that, you know, wasn't completed. He got pulled up when Superman died. So it wasn't fully matured when he came, when he busted out. So, but again, it's another sculpt. I don't see anything different. I mean, they didn't have the mold on the belt here. I wish they would have done it with everything else rather than paint it on. And then this is the one that has that design where the cuff comes up, but I think they did a great job of hiding it this time on the boot, so it actually looks a lot better there. Because I know like the Kid Flash and Impulse, they had those ridiculous, it stood out. And here they've done a good job. It's like they sanded it down or something, and you can see it in there. I don't know if you can see that line there, but they've done a good job. It doesn't really stick out, which is great. At least they fixed that. But again, everything else, it would have been nice if this would have been molded in. And put a little buckle on it, like in the cartoon, like like the comic itself would have been nice. They just painted a line over. Same thing with here. At least these are and they move up and down, which is, yeah, they're loose, so that's actually pretty good. But they're molded together, so, oh no, actually it's not. They're not. So yeah, you can rearrange these in any which way you want to give them a little style sense. They did added these cuffs, and I think that and they move or come out, so be careful when you do the hand swap because they do come out. And then the only thing that I see is the head sculpt as something being new. And they did a good job. He looks really good. He looks really good. I mean, this is as close as you're going to get. They've actually done a really good job with the head sculpt. I mean, the skin tone could have been a little bit pinkish, a little lighter, but the ass, the fade is actually pretty. The fade itself looks terrible. Yeah, that looks really bad. They should have done some shading on there a little bit or something. I mean, that I would have preferred all the little dots that they do sometimes on them, like this. See, that is a fade, much better. Now, I was looking at some of the images in the comic itself, and they kind of look like this, but it just looks terrible on here. I mean, God, man, Jesus, I wonder if they were just rushing this out to production. So besides that, the spacers here, I mean, if you have the figure like this, they don't look bad. In the back, you can see how weird that looks. It just looks really bad. And so if you tend to pose them in the front, you're also going to get that weird look. I mean, they should have, I don't know if they could have done something where, I know this kind of moves up and down, but maybe we could have held it in place a little better and have it all blue. Or they could have just given us a whole shoulder black. You know, I'm not much of a customizer or painter or stuff like that, but I know if I try to do something as simple as that, I'll probably end up messing it all up or anything. But, man, they could have just at least do it. It would have been a lot better. But, again, if you do certain poses of him standing, you can pretty much get away with hiding it. So, I mean, I don't want to make it seem like it's a big deal, but it is a little annoying. Because if you want to do like a punch fist and stuff, you got that. You got that. So, I mean, for those of you who really are very set on and, nitpick your photography and stuff like that, something like that will bother you. You're going to have to be, photoshopping it out. But other than that, the S looks great. It's not molded. It's painted on there like he's been doing a lot lately. The back looks really good. The details on it. Yeah, the boots, everything. I mean, other than that, besides the missing jacket and the sunglasses, the shades, it's a pretty good figure. That's all we needed, just the jacket. And, it completes. As you can see, I have the rest of the figures. And now I know this is not part of that storyline. This is more of the Lois and Superman, whatever, solar suit. But it's the only one I have from Mcfarlane with, besides the Henry Cavill, that has a black suit that I added my part of the collection. Of course, we got the awesome Cyborg. This is the only Superman mullet I have. I know there's one out there right now. I have yet to... I've seen it in a while, but I opted to get other figures. So I'm hoping that since it's not really selling out, and every time I go, it's there, I'm hoping that, once they go some clearance for like $16 or we'll pick it up. But for now, I still got this one, which is in the Dark Knight Returns body that they did. And then, of course, I got Steel, which I would have preferred a little bit more shinier, but this is the version we got. And then, of course, an improved version, not a better version because it was the same one of the Eradicator. I wish they would have updated it to one of these other sculpts. We got, obviously, went over this one. That was the original version. And then we do have the other Cyborg, which is not the same Cyborg. This is not the Henry, whatever, the pilot. This is, I think it was Supergirl's father. But that to me, it's still one of his greatest. I've had it, and after years of like messing with it and posing it and stuff, it's actually better than what I thought initially. Even though I was hopeful for this, that is up there in my top, Superman Mcfarlane's, because that actually ended up being a pretty good picture with the arm and all. I mean, it was good. But we finally got a more decent, better looking Superboy, younger version of Connell. I just wish the jacket, he did, yeah, before I miss out, he does have, mine is not painted well, but he does have the earring there, which I thought you couldn't pierce his ears. But yeah, it's there. I have to touch it up with a little gold paint or something, because they didn't really put a lot on it. It's basically skin. They didn't really touch it up, so it doesn't stand out. You can't really see it, but he does have the earring on the side, just like he did in the comics. So, but there you have it. I mean, there's not much to the figure. It's an overused sculpt. The colors on it are a lot better. They're brighter. They stand out more, as you can see, than this one here. Besides the jacket and the shades, it's much better, and it's shorter, so he actually fits in a lot better than this version, which is a lot taller than some of my other Supermans, and he's supposed to be a younger version. So there you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me what you think of this figure. Is it big? Do you think Mcfarlane's going to eventually give us one with a jacket on his way out, or is this it as far as this particular storyline? So anyway, as always, thank you for your support. Continue to support each other. Continue to be a fine figure, and I will see you later.